So back in the good old year of 1995, I remember my parents rented this movie from Blockbuster. All I remember is when I went into Blockbuster, there was a picture of a guy. He was basically walking towards like the camera. And I thought that it looked like the dopest cover to a movie ever. I remember asking my parents, like, can I watch this? And they said no. It was because they watched it first, and then they said no. But, you know, back in the day, strict parents like that anyway. But they said no. Come to find out, this was The Crow. So a couple years later, I ended up watching the movie for myself. And The Crow is up there in my top 10 favorite movies. I love the whole love story behind it. And then both of them dying, him coming back to avenge his girl. Like, I think that's fire. I always like those kind of revenge movies, but it being a love story. It's kind of corny, but whatever. So when I heard that Bill Skarsgård was going to do a remake to The Crow, I was kind of like, because what Brandon Lee did, I don't think should have been replicated anytime down the line. Edward Furlong did it, and then you had City of Angels, which City of Angels was kind of going along the same way, but it wasn't the same thing to me. But it was, it's weird to explain, but it had the girl, I remember, that was grown up. And I thought that the girl grown up and seeing how she turned out was weird because she didn't seem like that in part one. And I always thought it was kind of weird of how she turned out. Anyway, these are the first looks at Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven. I've said before that I really rock with Bill Skarsgård, and I still do. The tattoos, the short hair, honestly, I am not feeling it. I really ain't. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it to try to make it like I am. I'm not. But I'm still going to give it a chance because I like Bill Skarsgård. And I want to see what they're going to do with this adaptation to The Crow and see if it still fits. He doesn't look like that rock and roll type that we got with Brandon Lee. He looks like nowadays what we take as either like rock / like punk. I'm getting that kind of vibe. But I don't want to say, you know what, this looks trash. I'm still giving it a chance. I'm not just gonna dismiss it just off of this. It's not the original. It's not what I grew up on. It doesn't have that feel. I remember the leather with the boots, and he was that guy not to mess with. It just was what it was. And maybe it was because of when we got it. It was the first iteration of The Crow because The Crow was adapted from a comic book. I don't know, but I'm still going to give it a chance. I can't wait for the trailer to come out so I can check it out and see what they're going to bring to us. I'm not saying I hate it right off the bat, but it's just not what I remember.